Now they are far behind all their limits. The Brazilian press abandoned all the pit and decency there was, if there was. Because the Brazilian press at this stage, many of the people, and we know the Brazilian people and people around the world go, what does Holocaust mean? It means to exterminate 6 to 7 million Jews during the Second World War by the Nazi. Yeah, Nazi exterminated, killed thousands Jews, and they wanted to exterminate cruelly, dynamically, demonically, all people, and so they. It's hard to tell the number precisely, but talks about 6 to 7 million Jews that were exterminated, and the fact of this was called Holocaust, that in Hebrew means destruction. Okay. But Brazilian press, Rede Globo, journalist says this: health of Gaza Strip. We are beyond Holocaust Palestinian. Oh, pay attention to this. This is a crime. Jewish people are defending themselves. Israel is defending themselves against terrorists that cut off heads of children, rape women, and kill many. But the Brazilian journalist or the Brazilian press, they said that the Jews is making Holocaust against the Palestinian. Listen, we are beyond the Holocaust for the Palestinian in the Gaza Strip. This is abominable. Hamas is the one that does not permit help to come, aid to help. They cut electricity, water supply. Hamas makes this all to trying to change people's opinion, and they put children, women in front of the bombs, because when they are in retaliation, they take the body of the children, women, and they present to the press, to the world, and they really believe it because they are supporting terrorism. The press, they are in a very complicated situation because they are supporting terrorism, Hamas, but they cannot show that openly. And now they just go against Israel. Lula, our president, during his video and his report, he says that Hamas is a terrorist act, but does not condemn the Hamas. And they start to accuse the Jewish people.
A maioria quem cometeu isso aí foi o próprio Hamas, viu?
Most of the people that committed that was Hamas.
Porque o Hamas não deixa entrar.
Because Hamas does not allow aid to get in.
Aqui.
Only Britain is really obsessed with this. I've heard it for the last few days incessantly. Proportionality in conflict rarely exists. But if we were to decide that we should have this fetish about proportionality, then that would mean that in retaliation for what Hamas did in Israel on Saturday, Israel should try to locate a music festival in Gaza, for instance, and good luck with that. Should try to find a music festival in Gaza and rape precisely the number of women that Hamas raped on Saturday. Kill precisely the number of young people that Hamas killed on Saturday. They should find a town of exactly the same size as a town like Sderot, where I've been many times myself, and make sure they go to door and kill precisely the correct number of babies that Hamas killed in Sderot on Saturday, and shoot in the head precisely the same number of old age pensioners as were shot in Sderot on Saturday, just to choose one town. Proportionality in conflict is a joke, and it's a very strange British concept which we've had, that only the Israelis in a conflict, when they are attacked, are expected to have precisely the proportionate response.
No, I'm going to challenge you on that, Douglas, because I do think when we had, the invasions of Afghanistan and of Iraq, a lot of people were discussing Afghanistan had huge numbers of countries involved, Iraq less so, obviously, but there was still discussion about whether or not, with the number of civilian deaths, that this was proportionate to the threat as perceived by America, by other countries.
We didn't say that the death toll in Afghanistan had to be precisely the death toll, for instance, in the Twin Towers in New York. We didn't take that view. By the way, there always has to be said, the difference between the Western way of war and the Hamas terrorist way of war is that their objective is to kill civilians. The objective of Hamas is to kill innocent people. The objective in conflict of the United States, the United Kingdom, Israel and other civilized democracies is to kill as few innocent people as possible. It cannot be said enough that Israel tries to use the IDF to protect its citizenry. Hamas uses the citizenry to try to protect Hamas.
Okay, that's enough. Look how many people defending this terrorist group, faction, the press, they're defending, they are supporting Hamas. But they cannot say that openly, that they really support and defend. And then they start to attack Israel. Think about someone that enter your house, rape the kids, your wife, your the daughters, and so they destroy and kill. And so you're not allowed to pay back or to defend yourself. The press internationally, around all the globe. Listen to this reporter saying that Israel is against the Palestinian or killing the Palestinian as a Holocaust. So they take all the press coming from Hamas and they use that against Israel, against the Jewish people. When they show it, they pretend it didn't happen. The world is defining today who is against or who's for the Jewish people, like the 30 years in Europe. So you have to decide which side you are. Those that can defend themselves, those that were persecuted by history, and so you are on favor of a Nazi's back, and it's a little bit disguised, and the press is defending Hamas.